the hate army troll.
It's the hate army,
bro. Hate army.
Shout out to hate.
Good vibes to the
Shout
hate
out to
army.
hate.
Shout out to hate.
Shout out
Shout
for
out to
hate.
hate.
Shout out to hate.
Shout out for
Shout
hate.
out for hate.
Now, before we get to a big chunky news segment today, because my goodness, do we have a lot of chunky news to talk about today. I'd like to do a minor follow-up to what we talked about the other day in regards to night streams and moderation. All right. And then I would like to give you the schedule for the week. All right. And then we'll go from there probably into the news segment. So, our discussion the other day was as follows. I was wondering why night streams were having higher attendance, but basically a lot of people complaining about the situation on them and why I had a series of low support night streams. It was kind of confusing. And the feedback I got was very simple. The regulars don't want to be there for the night streams because on the night streams, usually I'm playing a multiplayer game like the Modern Warfare 3 beta or Street Fighter 6. And as I'm playing, I can't focus on talking with the people in the chat. And when that happens, I lose focus. I can't look. That's when the trolls roll in. And they usually come in with new accounts, right? They usually come in with, these socks so that no one really knows who they are. But all of a sudden, they all talk to each other like they know each other. They're all constantly doing what's considered sneak disses, meaning they're not going to come into the chat and outright say nasty things, but they're going to say really insulting, dumb things that are just going to get everyone and rub them the wrong way. They try to start fights in the chat, and essentially, they only do it when I'm not looking. Because then when I'm done, let's take a break, and I come back. Of course, now they're silent, right? So people have been saying that over the last couple of weeks, they've noticed this getting worse and worse. And a lot of regulars have said, we used to show up to attend and support your late night streams, and we're not going to do it anymore because there's just not enough control. And this actually kind of God-smacked me. And the reason I say that is, years ago, people always complained there was too much moderation. They said, Phil, your streams are too locked down. You have too many mods. They're too trigger-happy. Everyone is constantly taking control of the stream and making it unfun. So I directly listened to that. That was about 2 years ago when I was getting that feedback. I directly listened to that feedback. And I said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to be way more lax on moderation. I'm going to tell my mods they don't have to be as crazy strict, And what's happened is the last few years, some of the moderators have slowly just kind of retired and didn't really say anything publicly, but they just kind of said, we're going to walk off and not become mods anymore or not be mods anymore. And as you know, I talked about this. We had one or two idiots who were trolls, literally catfishing everyone, which think about how useful that was because a lot came out of that, right? As you know, such horrible leaks and things have happened as a result of someone catfishing us as a moderator. So that was a really big use of time, wasn't it? But anyway, overall, over the last, I'd say year and a half, moderation has become very lax on my streams. I will openly admit it. That was honestly an active choice of mine because I got so much feedback saying, Phil, when we're on your streams, it's like lockdown. We don't want that. We want to have a more casual environment and have everyone feel kind of, like they don't have to be walking on eggshells. Fine, let's change it. So now I changed it, and now here we are in a situation where I'm getting the opposite feedback. Phil, you're too lax. You don't have enough moderation. And now everything is too much about these trolls making a good old boys club and trying to make people feel, not welcome. And I'm like, are you kidding? So I was like, you can't win one way. You can't win the other way. So I guess it's a point where I have to find that moderation point, right? So I did have a conversation with my moderators over the last couple of days. Sadly, I hate to say it, I don't think that many of them or any of them are going to be able to really step up and moderate any more than they already are. A lot of these people are very busy. They come in and they help moderate when they can, and I'm very grateful for when they do show up, and that's very nice of them, but none of these people are paid employees. They're just fans like you and me. They come by when they can to moderate if they have time, but it's just not a priority for them. I didn't hold anyone to that level of standard because you guys told me you didn't need moderation as much and you wanted things more lax, so I did what you said. Well, I've now gotten, of course, absolutely flooded with people who want to be moderators, all right? And when you get flooded, it's like, okay, so now what do you do, right? Because now he's like, now you go one way, who do you trust or whatever? What we're going to do is, and it's not going to be consistent, you're not going to see it every night. You're not, all right? But basically you're going to see maybe some more people, a handful of people who are going to be moderators, and they're not going to be here all the time. They're going to be coming in whenever they're available. So you may see it immediately. You may not see it for days. You may see it for 2 days in a row and then not for a week. It all depends. But again, I'm not holding people accountable. I'm not going to be, oh, you must be there to moderate. They're volunteers, right? They're not people who are paid employees who need to, get yelled at for not fucking being there. That's ridiculous. But I got a few people who I'm going to essentially become trial mods, and when they come in, if they can moderate, great. Particularly, you should see them probably on nighttime streams moving forward if they can make it. It won't be every night, but if you see them here, abide by the rules. I've basically told them, here's what I told them. If you see someone who seems to be suspect, someone who's acting up or trying to basically, and the thing is, what I mean by that is, a lot of the people who are coming by to troll at night are not outright trolls. They're not coming in here and immediately saying awful things about me or my wife or the work or anything. They come in and they sneak this, right? So for example, I'll be here playing Street Fighter, and they'll literally every match say, oh, you played so poorly, you're horrible. Oh, wow, that guy is like a top-level player. He's absolutely dominated you. You can tell what they're here for. They're just here to create that negative environment around the stream to completely contradict anything I say on a stream, make me look like a fool, and discredit me, right? No one needs that. There's already tons of that out there. There's people constantly restreaming me and shit. Go watch their streams. I urge you to go watch their streams. If that's your mentality, the only reason you're coming is to basically sit here and be toxic, then go to the toxic place. This is not the toxic place. Really, I don't mind. I mean this. I'll say this publicly. I don't mind if you go watch a restreamer if that's what you want to do. Go for it. Just leave my community alone. We don't want you here. We don't need you here. We're here to have fun together and be positive. We're not here to sit here and listen to your bullshit. Okay? So, that's the deal. We're going to have some moderators who are going to be coming in looking for that kind of stuff. And they're going to be taking care of that. All right? And what I've advised them is that if they're going to do something, just time someone out. Don't be banning people permanently, especially when we don't know if these are new accounts or sock accounts or someone who just genuinely doesn't know the rules, or, just time the people out. So you're going to see likely more moderators over the next week or two. You're going to see a lot of people getting timed out for basically the same toxic behavior they've been doing for weeks and getting away with it. Well, now they're not going to get away with it anymore. Okay? We'll see how it goes. And if people feel that the improvement's good, great. If not, I'd like feedback. We might have to seek out some more people. Basically, I got flooded with people who wanted to do it. I'm like, well, I'm kind of apprehensive. Let me try to take some people who I recognize, who are regulars, who are, people who I've seen over the years, and I know that I can trust them, and maybe just give them a temporary modship and see how it goes. And by the way, it may be very well may be that these people want to do it, and then after doing it for a couple nights, they're like, oh shit, I want to do this. Right? I don't want to do that. That's fine. And then we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay? So, there you go. All right? And I'm going to do my best to not feed the trolls on those situations, because that's the thing. That's what they're doing it for. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're coming to these late streams just to derail them to see if they can piss me off. If I'm already on a losing streak in Street Fighter, I go back to the stream and I see a bunch of idiots in there, that could irk me and rub me the wrong way. And the best way to deal with these people is to not address it. If it needs to be moderated, just moderate it quietly and then just move on with my night and not give them the attention that they're so desperately seeking because they're losers in life and this is what they think they get their jollies from, So there you go. So let's see how it goes, and we'll go from there. All right, so that's the update on what happened the other day in our discussion, and moving forward, we'll see, further on how things go. I've gotten tons of other suggestions for improvement and things, and I appreciate that, but I will say this. Some people are sending them direct to my email. That's a bad idea. There's a suggestions thread now for a reason. If you're not aware, we have a thread called the suggestions box. If you type !suggestion in the chat right now or during any live stream, the thread will come up where you can post up your suggestions. All right? And that's the way to go about it, because what we're going to do as a new practice is at the beginning of every new month coming up, for probably that whole first week, every day we're going to go through some of those suggestions from the suggestion box from over the course of the last month. We're going to address them. I'm going to tell you, hey, is this a good one? Is this one we can't do, and here's why? Or maybe this is something I could take as a suggestion for improvement in the future. Maybe I can't do it right now, but we can implement it somehow long term. That's great, but I am noticing a lot of people are shooting me emails, and I'm like, I can read this now, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I can implement it right now. We can't talk about it right now, especially, yeah, I got like 2 or 3 during my day off. I'm like, I can't really do anything with this. It's my day off. I'm not even home. I can't, like, pay attention to this. And thing is, I'm probably not going to remember it, right? To be honest. That's what the suggestions box is for. So please post them up there. And moving forward, again, we will review those come November. That's one of the first things we're going to do first week in November. Okay? Thank you for that. Okay. So, all right, I'm just going to start banning people now. Because as you can see, it's sock accounts. It's people who are screaming at the top of their lungs in capitals. I've had enough. And I'm just going to get rid of them. In fact, moving forward, I won't even say what I just said. Really. I won't even say what I just said. I'll just take them out. Because it's ridiculous. People sitting here who I've never seen before, spamming the chat, right? And they just won't shut up. It's like, what are you here for? Because you want to get your attention and derail the chat, so I'm just going to take care of them that way. Other things that happens is people say, oh, what about RoboCop? What about that? What are you talking about? We have a schedule. We determined what games are the biggest ones this month. We've been talking about these for weeks, okay? All of a sudden, oh, what are you going to play, RoboCop? Are you going to play this one? What are you talking about? We've got the schedule. We know what's coming. It's what's set is set. All right. If we have extra time at some point, or down the line, if you want to see another game, no, I'm not dropping everything to fucking play RoboCop because for one day there's viral popularity on the internet for a game that will then fizzle out and die. And no one will ever talk about it again. You understand? That's what it is with these kind of games. You know, if it's good, great. We'll play it later. I'm okay with that. But we've got the schedule laid out. Let's go with what we want and what everyone said they want and what I'm interested in playing now. And again, there will be opportunity to play other games that we miss out on. We have to be careful. And I say we. A lot of people say, oh, we have problems with you saying we. Why? This stream is our stream. Yes, I broadcast it, but this is a stream for our enjoyment. Not just mine. This is not Phil's stream to enjoy himself. This is our stream, correct? That's why we work on these things together. We have this discussion every morning to determine what we want to do. That's why I say we. That's why I say our. Some people have offense at that. It's because they're idiots. They don't understand the difference between someone out there who's literally just doing whatever they want versus someone who actually has a connection with their audience and wants to put out content the audience wants as much as they want to be entertained, right? So, am I interested in RoboCop? Sure. Why not? I like the RoboCop movies. I've seen all 3 of the classics back from in the day. The first one's great. The second one's good. The third one sucks ass. Everyone knows. I would love to play a video game that's RoboCop, but no one was talking about this game until all of a sudden a couple days ago. I don't buy into momentary hype just because it's the hot, what do they call it? The not flash in the pan. It's like the something of the day or something of the week or whatever it's called. You know, whatever the big one is that everyone talks about for a couple days, and then all of a sudden the hype's gone. It's on to the next, right? I don't play that game. I'm not a streamer who will play RoboCop once and then drop it and play other games and never go back to it. You know me that when I play games, I want to commit to them. I want to be sure that these are playthroughs that are going to be fun for the long haul. I don't want to just play a game for one stream and drop it, like a lot of streamers tend to do, right? So, am I interested in playing it? Is it flavor of the month? Thank you, Carlton Judy. He says flavor of the month was the phrase I was trying to get. You're right. Flavor of the month. Yeah, I would be interested in it, but if we're going to do it, let's see if it fits into the schedule and when we play it. But it's not going to be now. You know the schedule. I told you the schedule for the rest of the month. That's what we're going with. That's what everyone's more hyped for. That's what we're doing. Okay? I've already known what happens when you take on more than you can finish, when you bite off more than you can chew, when you have 7 games you're trying to juggle and you can only play each of them 1 to 2 times a week. No one's satisfied. No one's going to be happy with me playing Sonic Superstars, Mario Wonder, Spider-Man 2, RoboCop, Lords of the Fallen, Alan Wake 2, and other games as well, all at the same time. Everyone's going to be upset. Literally every person. Even me. And I'm excited for everything going on this month. Before we get to this ginormous gaming news segment, very brief plug segment. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for your support and allow me to do what I love for a living, because it is through your crowdfunding efforts that I am still here and I get to do what I love. Most people at the level that I'm at, meaning the amount of viewership that I get, would never be able to make a living doing this, but I get to because of you, and only you, because you like the style of content that I put out. It's different from what a lot of other people do. No paid product placement message up here on the upper left-hand corner of your screen. No ad breaks running constantly, right? You know, there's a little difference. It's because I'm putting out content that I want you to watch that I would watch, right? I keep that crap out of my content. And the reason I can do that is because you support the content to keep it free of that stuff. No shilling, no sponsorships. partnerships, ad break here, ad break there. None of that. All right, and I'm happy about that. No referral codes today that you should use to buy products on my stream. So, if you like this content and you appreciate the honesty, the fact that I can be honest in my content and I can say my truthful thoughts about a game I'm playing because I don't have to kiss its butt to say it's good because there's a sponsorship opportunity, and I don't have to slam it to get clickbait negative views because that doesn't benefit me either. I just make content for my small community that likes who I am, and now I'm totally happy with that. In fact, that's all I ever cared about to begin with back in the day when I started content. It was a hobby for the love of it. It wasn't because I wanted to do this as a job for a giant YouTube viral audience. So, please consider supporting this stream and or my on-demand videos if you like the content and you want to see this style of curated content continue. Here's how you can do that. Number one, engagement. Liking the streams, liking the videos, leaving comments on the streams, leaving comments on the videos. That's all engagement. And I mean that too, because a lot of people take that for granted. I get hundreds to thousands of views on a video, and I'll get 2 comments. Yeah, the comments are huge for engagement. I'm telling you, if you're watching a video, and you could click and say, just want to say, hi, Phil, or just want to say, thanks for the video. Hey, this one's for engagement. Hope it helps. Literally, that helps. I'm not kidding you, okay? So please consider it. Please consider liking what you like. Just click the like button and or leaving a comment. It's huge, all right? You know what's funny is over the years, so many YouTubers say subscribe. I just thought about this last night. My wife and I were watching someone playing Starfield, and we're like, and the person just came subscribe, and I'm like, that's something I'd literally never have done. I don't think I ever asked for a subscription. Have I? Not once. Because listen, if you like the content you're watching, you're going to subscribe to the channel, no? And there's so many people who have told me they didn't subscribe to my channel. They still watch the stuff, and they still support it, but they don't click the subscribe button because YouTube's annoying with the way that it disseminates content into your sub box or whatever. That's why you never hear me say that. I'm just curious. People wondered, why does Phil never ask for a subscription? I don't think it really means anything. It's always been this stupid, meaningless number that morons use to judge the popularity and success of a YouTube channel. How is it that I have 200,000 subscribers, but I'm able to have a living doing this? Because subscribers mean nothing. That's why. That's literally why. Okay? Anyway, continuing on. There is a 24-hour sub-only mode on the chat. If you want to talk here on the streams, you have to be subscribed to the channel for 24 hours. That stops trolling. That's why we do that. Without that, this chat would be absolutely a mess with bots and spamming of racist, toxic, sexist, disgusting, insulting, doxing, terrible things. We know because we went through it for about a month until sub-only mode was enabled on YouTube. So now that it's on there, we never went back, and it's a much better place. Anyway, if you would like to go above and beyond the engagement factor of the channel, please consider supporting in one of the other many ways you can do so, including a super chat, a super sticker, or a super thanks on an eligible video where you can do that on demand. If you do any of those things, I'll give you a shout out. I'll highlight your comment. I'll make sure that you get featured and you get a thank you from me. A membership or a gifted membership are great ways to support the channel. Surely it would be really helping right now because, as you can see, we lost even more members. Essentially, all those gifted memberships we got last month have expired, and now we're dwindling in numbers. There's nothing you can do about that. Please consider becoming a member, or maybe you're someone who's enjoying all the new content here, and you'd like to help out the community at large, the other viewers as well. That way, it's not just about me and my channel. It's about everyone having a good time. Consider gifting some memberships, you know? People absolutely love that, and they're very grateful. And this time of year, the fact that we've got all these new releases coming out, hey, people would love having access to all of my emotes, to be able to talk as much as they want in the chat without the slow mode rules, and many other benefits. So please consider that. Now, in the short term, I've already talked about this the past couple of days. I do need some help right now. If you can, I'm not asking for anyone to go crazy. I'm not asking for anyone to go, outside their means. But right now, I'm in a unique situation that kind of sucks. All right? Here's what's going on. Firstly, I have to buy a lot more games than usual. And this is to be expected this time of year because it's the busy fall gaming season. And notably, usually it wouldn't be a problem. However, all of a sudden, all these things are happening at once. I get paid by YouTube once a month. That's a huge source of income that I used to pay a lot of my larger bills of the year and all of that. It just so happens that this month, the YouTube payment is scheduled for a Saturday. When that happens, YouTube typically has the payment be delayed by 3 to 4 days. So I might not get paid until Tuesday or Wednesday of that week. The problem is I have bills due during that time period, and normally it's never an issue. This happens maybe once, no exaggeration, once a year, once every 2 years when we get into this level of situation. And again, normally it wouldn't be a problem, except I have to drop a bunch of money to buy games right before I get paid by YouTube. So the money I would normally have to say, okay, I can cover those bills because the payment's delayed, not a big deal. I got to buy games with that money. So I'm between a rock and a hard place. And if you wanted to help out right now, the best way you could do it is by tipping me. When you tip me, those are funds I get immediately in my PayPal. I can pay a bill, I can buy a game. That is where all of those funds are going, 100%. So, if you tip me on a stream, you're directly supporting everything I'm doing. You're helping me out in a tougher situation time right now. And then when I get paid by YouTube, we'll be back to normal. All right? I'm not going to harp on this all day and talk about it constantly. But if you'd like to support a little more and help out a little more, if you have the option to choose how you would support and you can tip, that would be the way that I would ask that you could help me support me today. All right? So, tip goals are in effect as usual, right? And I hope that you will consider contributing if you can. If you like the content, please consider tipping. Fair enough? Good enough? All right. Let's take a brief break. All I'm going to do, all right, all I'm going to do is mute the mic. I'm not going to monetize you guys, all right? I'm not going to run an ad. I will just do a quick reminder. If you can support the stream today, 2 great ways you can do it is by a gifted membership to the community or a tip. Tips are very important in the next 2 weeks for me to afford all the games coming out and pay bills because of this YouTube payment delay thing. There's nothing that can be done about it. You just got to deal with it. So either way would be great. My goal is to hit the tier 1 tips goal every stream. It would be great if we could exceed that some streams. That would help a ton. All right, so please consider. That's all I'm going to say. I'll be right back in a few minutes, and then we'll get started. All right, see you in a sec. Are we good to start? Okay, one final reminder. Support today would be great. Memberships and tips would be the 2 best ways. Tips particularly would be very important and helpful in the next couple of weeks. I need a lot of help with tips if you can. If that's the focus, that would be great. I need to afford all these games and my bills all at once before YouTube pays me, which is going to be delayed this month. So that would be appreciated. Okay, outside of that, anything appreciated, you know, I shout everybody out. Thank you in advance. I'm not going to be bringing it up all day. I'm just tossing it out before we begin with the gameplay. Fair enough? Okay.
Tipping me helps me more than anything.